You crave deep, meaningful connection, yet the moment someone offers it, you feel a sudden urge to run away. You find yourself ducking out of sight and canceling plans right when they're about to happen. When this happens, it is easy to assume you are cold or somehow broken. But these reactions have nothing to do with your personality. Think of a cup with a small crack in the bottom. If you spend years pouring your emotional energy out for others without ever having your own cup refilled, you reach a state of emotional saturation. You are so full of other people's needs that you can't absorb one more drop of social interaction. Chronic isolation is an involuntary survival mechanism. Your nervous system is stepping in to protect a battery that has been empty for a long time. Much of that exhaustion comes from the mask of performance. This is the act of forcing agreement, hiding your true feelings, and constantly monitoring the mood of the room to make sure everyone else stays comfortable. Every time you bite your tongue or offer a forced thumbs up, you drain your internal resources. These small acts of people-pleasing act like a leak in your energy supply. Other people aren't necessarily the source of the drain. The exhaustion comes from the mental effort required to stay hiding behind that mask while you are around them. Your social battery dies because you are powering a full-time theatrical performance instead of a genuine friendship. This performative habit usually starts in childhood. It often develops in environments where your authentic feelings were treated as an inconvenience or seen as too much. To stay safe, you learn to be low maintenance. You proved your worth by being the listener, the fixer, or the one who avoids friction. Living this way for years leads to a deep sense of identity fatigue. You stop feeling like an individual human being with your own needs and start feeling like a functional utility for everyone else. You become a pillar that exists only to hold up the weight of other people's lives. This happens because you have occupied a supportive role for so long that you have lost track of who you are when you aren't serving someone else. Over time, the pressure builds. You start to feel a quiet resentment, a hidden anger that grows every time you agree to something just to keep the peace. Eventually, you try to buy back small amounts of energy. You reply to texts slower, you cancel plans more often. You begin to fade away. Finally, you hit a breaking point. You execute a complete cutoff, severing ties with friends or family without any explanation. Choosing to walk away is an act of desperation. The mask has simply become too heavy to lift for one more day. The problem is the fortress you build to protect yourself from exhaustion also keeps connection out. You end up safe from the drain, but starved of the relationships you still want. The cure for this exhaustion isn't a stronger fortress. It is the practice of being authentic, even when it feels uncomfortable. This requires refusing to put the mask back on. It feels vulnerable because you have to risk disappointing people by showing them your real self. You maintain that authenticity by setting boundaries early, long before you reach your breaking point. An early boundary is simply stating the truth. It means saying, "I cannot take this on right now," or politely disagreeing without apologizing for your opinion. Setting these limits at the start of an interaction protects your energy. It prevents the resentment that eventually leads to disting people. Dropping the mask shifts how you relate to others. When you stop performing, your social battery drains at a rate you can actually manage. Some people may leave when you stop being so accommodating, but those who stay are finally connecting with the person you actually are. Real connection doesn't require you to be perfect or endlessly available. It simply requires the courage to let people see you without the armor.